absolute as constituting the universe and the extra-universe phenomena of the manifest presence of the impersonal activities of the unified and coordinated deity associations of supremacy, ultimacy, and infinity, the Trinity of Trinities. God the Father is discernible on all levels from the finite to the infinite, and though his creatures from paradise to the evolutionary worlds have variously perceived him, only the eternal Son and the infinite Spirit know him as an infinity. Spiritual personality is absolute only on paradise, and the concept of the absolute is unqualified only in infinity. Deity presence is absolute only on paradise, and the revelation of God must always be partial, relative, and progressive, until his power becomes experientially infinite in the space potency of the unqualified absolute, while his personality manifestation becomes experientially infinite in the manifest presence of the deity absolute, and while these two potentials of infinity become reality unified in the universal absolute. But beyond sub-infinite levels, the three absolutes are one, and thereby is infinity deity realized regardless of whether any other order of existence ever self-realizes consciousness of infinity. Existential status in eternity implies existential self-consciousness of infinity, even though another eternity may be required to experience self-realization of the experiential potentialities inherent in an infinity eternity, an eternal infinity. And God the Father is the personal source of all manifestations of deity and reality to all intelligent creatures and spirit beings throughout all the universe of universes. As personalities now or in the successive universe experiences of the eternal future, no matter if you achieve the attainment of God the Sevenfold, comprehend God the Supreme, find God the Ultimate, or attempt to grasp the concept of God the Absolute, you will discover to your eternal satisfaction that in the consummation of each adventure you have, on new experiential levels, rediscovered the eternal God, the Paradise Father of all universe personalities. The Universal Father is the explanation of universal unity as it must be supremely, even ultimately, realized in the post-ultimate unity of absolute values and meanings, unqualified reality. The master force organizers go out into space and mobilize its energies to become gravity-responsive to the paradise pull of the Universal Father. And subsequently there come the Creator Sons, who organize these gravity-responding forces into inhabited universes, and therein evolve intelligent creatures who receive unto themselves the spirit of the Paradise Father, and subsequently ascend to the Father to become like him in all possible divinity attributes. The ceaseless and expanding march of the Paradise creative forces through space seems to presage the ever-extending domain of the gravity grasp of the Universal Father, and the never-ending multiplication of varied types of intelligent creatures who are able to love God and to be loved by him, and who, by thus becoming God-knowing, may choose to be like him, may elect to attain paradise, and find God. The universe of universes is altogether unified. God is one in power and personality. There is coordination of all levels of energy and all phases of personality, philosophically and experientially, in concept and in reality. All things and beings center in the Paradise Father. God is all and in all, and no things or beings exist without him. 10. Truth, Beauty, and Goodness. As the worlds settled in life and light progress from the initial stage to the seventh epoch, they successively grasp for the realization of the reality of God the Sevenfold, ranging from the adoration of the Creator Son to the worship of his Paradise Father. Throughout the continuing seventh stage of such a world's history, the ever-progressing mortals grow in the knowledge of God the Supreme, while they vaguely discern the reality of the overshadowing ministry of God the Ultimate. Throughout this glorious age, the chief pursuit of the ever-advancing mortals is the quest for a better understanding and a fuller realization of the comprehensible elements of deity, truth, beauty, and goodness. This represents man's effort to discern God in mind, matter, and spirit. And as the mortal pursues this quest, he finds himself increasingly absorbed in the experiential study of philosophy, cosmology, and divinity. Philosophy you somewhat grasp, and divinity you comprehend in worship, social service, and personal spiritual experience. But the pursuit of beauty, cosmology, you all too often limit to the study of man's crude artistic endeavors. Beauty, art, is largely a matter of the unification of contrasts. Variety is essential to the concept of beauty. The supreme beauty, the height of finite art, is the drama of the unification of the vastness of the cosmic extremes of creator and creature, man finding God and God finding man, the creature becoming perfect as is the creator. That is the supernal achievement of the supremely beautiful, the attainment of the apex of cosmic art. Hence, materialism, atheism, is the maximation of ugliness, the climax of the finite antithesis of the beautiful. Highest beauty consists in the panorama of the unification of the variations which have been born of pre-existent harmonious reality. The attainment of cosmologic levels of thought includes 1. Curiosity, hunger for harmony, and thirst for beauty. Persistent attempts to discover new levels of harmonious cosmic relationships. 2. Aesthetic appreciation, love of the beautiful, and ever-advancing appreciation of the artistic touch of all creative manifestations on all levels of reality. 3. Ethic sensitivity. Through the realization of truth, the appreciation of beauty leads to the sense of the eternal fitness of those things which impinge upon the recognition of divine goodness in deity relations with all beings. And thus even cosmology leads to the pursuit of divine reality values, to God consciousness. The world-settled enlightened life are so fully concerned with the comprehension of truth, beauty, and goodness because these quality values embrace the revelation of deity to the realms of time and space. The meanings of eternal truth make a combined appeal to the intellectual and spiritual natures of mortal man. Universal beauty embraces the harmonious relations and rhythms of the cosmic creation. This is more distinctly the intellectual appeal, and leads toward unified and synchronous comprehension of the material universe. Divine goodness represents the revelation of infinite values to the finite mind, therein to be perceived and elevated to the very threshold of the spiritual level of human comprehension. Truth is the basis of science and philosophy, presenting the intellectual foundation of religion. Beauty sponsors art, music, and the meaningful rhythms of all human experience. Goodness embraces the sense of ethics, morality, and religion, experiential perfection hunger. The existence of beauty implies the presence of appreciative creature mind, just as certainly as the fact of progressive evolution indicates the dominance of the supreme mind. Beauty is the intellectual recognition of the harmonious time-space synthesis of the far-flung diversification of phenomenal reality, all of which stems from pre-existent and eternal oneness. Goodness is the mental recognition of the relative values of the diverse levels of divine perfection. The recognition of goodness implies a mind of moral status, a personal mind with ability to discriminate between good and evil. But the possession of goodness, greatness, is the measure of real divinity attainment. The recognition of true relations implies a mind competent to discriminate between truth and error. The bestowal spirit of truth, which invests the human minds of Urantia, is unerringly responsive to truth, the living spirit relationship of all things and all beings as they are coordinated in the eternal ascent Godward.